to the show. Okay, we are gonna kick things off, obviously, in the kitchen today, but we're starting with a breakfast classic. So in front of me over here, I have two different types of omelets. Everyone's had an omelet, right? Yeah. Right? Delish. Love an omelet. Yeah, I like that big yeah, that was good. Now, there are a classic kind of North American style omelet, which is this one. This is the omelet you've gotten if you've gone to a diner. It's the one that if you had like a rough Saturday night, maybe a Sunday morning, always a good thing. It's really tasty and there's a good caramelization. The North American style omelet is fully set eggs. It's got golden brown on the outside, and it's filled with literally anything you'd like. Good heavy stuff like peppers, onions, even ham, tons of cheese. It is very, very good, and it is a big meal in and of itself. But today, I wanted to show you the do's and don'ts of how to make a classic omelet, also known as a French omelet. And that is this little number. It looks completely opposite from the North American variety, but it is truly my absolute favorite omelet. The trick to a French omelet is there is absolutely no golden brown color on it, which sounds kind of strange because golden brown is obviously a delicious color, but it is such a nice softly cooked egg. It's really custardy, it's really creamy. The inside is almost like custard hollandaise, and to me, that is a very good thing. So I'm gonna attempt, it feels very chefy, but it's one of those recipes that the more you make it, the better you get at it. Have I ever made it in front of a studio audience? No. And I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. Things can go wrong, but to be honest, if you're making a French omelet and things start going wrong, you're either gonna end up with a North American omelet or scrambled eggs, which is not a bad thing. So hopefully we're not getting scrambled eggs, but not gonna lie, we might. So I'm gonna start off and show you how to hopefully get that beautiful French omelet. So the first thing I need is 3 eggs. So I'm just using large eggs here, and I'm just cracking those into a bowl. You don't have to use a bowl this big, but this is a good way to kind of get everything nice and broken up. So 3 eggs go right on in. To be honest, sometimes when I'm feeling just like a 2-egg omelet, I do try making a French omelet with 2 eggs. It is tricky though, because it is not enough of that kind of egg custard mixture to blend in and hold everything together. So 3 eggs is the way to go. Now I add a little bit of salt in right away, just to the egg white area, and then I immediately start whisking. If I were to add that salt onto the egg yolks, you can actually cure the egg yolks. This can also happen in baking. Like if you are mixing eggs into sugar, you want to immediately start whisking that together because sugar and salt both act to cure egg yolks, and it makes them almost kind of cook on the outside, kind of like if you're making like ceviche or something like that. Now, for a French omelet, you do want to mix this really well. You're not trying to make it into a souffle or anything like that, but you do want to make it so there's no more kind of like glooby, kind of gloppy egg bits. Does that make sense? You know, delicious terms like that. You want it to be nice and thin and watery. Now, if you are going fully classic, you could strain this through a sieve. That would get out any of those little bits of egg white, but I'm not being that fancy today. Now, typically with an American style omelet, you would add in some milk or cream here, but for a French omelet, just eggs. All you need are eggs, salt, and a good amount of butter. All right, this is looking good to me. You can't see any white anymore. You can't see any just yellow. It's all mixed together. So that is looking great. Now I'm gonna come over here and talk about the pan, because the main ingredient in a French omelet that differs it from a North American omelet is the temperature of the pan. You want this baby to be over like medium-low heat, because you do not want that golden brown color on there. So you do want to use a non-stick pan, your best non-stick pan you have. This is feeling warm, but I'm gonna test it out with some butter. And in classic French fashion, we're going big on the butter, and I'm very excited about it. So in the recipe I've written, use a tablespoon of butter, and a tablespoon of butter would be fantastic. You could also add more if you're really feeling it, because basically what this butter does is it mixes in with the eggs, and it gives you kind of almost like that hollandaise vibe. Now, when I add that butter, oh, this is perfect, I'm not gonna lie. You do not want it to start spitting and melting down immediately. You don't want a ton of smoke, but you do like this little bit of foam. Y'all, I'm feeling good about this. I think I'm gonna do it. She says very confidently, before maybe things go wrong. But honestly, with a French omelet, I guess my main tip is try not to talk while you're doing it. It takes all of about a minute to throw together, but if you're chatting, things can go wrong. You know, though, I have a hard time not talking. So we're gonna give this a go. So that butter is just melting into that pan. I'm gonna keep that heat at around medium-low, just so it stays nice and slow. So now I'm gonna get those eggs and just add them on into that pan. Now at this point, with a traditional omelet, you would kind of mix it up. It'd be hot, it'd be spicy, it would just start kind of caramelizing. But with a French omelet, you can see curds already start forming at the bottom of the pan. But unlike with a traditional omelet, you want to keep moving this. That butter is going to melt into those eggs. This is also my go-to way if I'm making a scrambled egg. Just keep putting butter in it, and it's going to taste delicious. Now, you just want to keep stirring this until those curds form, and it becomes almost like curdy. Like, it almost looks like a solid amount of something. Almost kind of like if you're making a lemon curd, because we want basically this to keep coming together just until it stops self-leveling out. So if I were to stop shaking, we still have those eggs in the pan doing their thing. I'm gonna be risky. I'm gonna turn the pan up a bit. Y'all, don't do this at home. Keep it low and slow, and just keep on moving that pan. You can already see those eggs are starting to thicken up. And again, it kind of starts turning into like almost lemon curd consistency. That is perfect. Eventually, once this keeps going, those curds will start kind of forming. Now, I do have a question, because it's going to take a second. Has anyone made a French omelet before in the audience? Oh, we've got one. Okay, I like that. Very, very fancy. Am I selling it to any of you? Okay, good. It feels very chefy. This feels like something I would do. I mean, I haven't been on a first date in about like 15 years, but that's okay. This feels like very first date. Like you're making dinner and you're just making an omelet, chatting away while you wait for your eggs to cook, or do it on TV in front of everybody, and it takes a little longer than you'd think. All right, so if I were to keep going, you would see those curds starting to form together. Again, that egg is getting thicker and creamier. At this point, you could start adding even more butter if you wanted to, but you see there's little bits of eggs starting to form. Basically, you wanna add enough butter so nothing's sticking. Run your kind of spatula around the pan every once in a while, just to bring everything together. Now we're cooking. We're getting a little bit of those curds. All right, then I would just want that to start setting. Once it starts setting, you wanna add on any of your fillings. Like I said, you don't wanna go with heavy fillings. Traditionally, with a French style omelet, you don't wanna add in onions, you don't wanna add in things like that. I do love a little bit of cheese and some fine herbs. So I've got that classic like fine herb and garlic cheese, if you know what I'm talking about. The one that I think you put out on like a cheese board tray, but then you end up eating it before your guests get there. It's very, very good. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that and some chives. If you wanted to, you could also, see, here we go. You could also use a little bit of tarragon. That would be really, really nice as well. See those curds all forming? You wanna get everything nice and smooth. Then you'd add on your cheese, and unlike a traditional kind of North American style omelet, as opposed to folding this, you actually want to roll it together. So at this point, when you see all those curds, I let it sit on the heat for just about a minute, just to set that bottom of the egg. Scatter on some fine herbs if you're feeling it, and then once that's set, you just basically get your spatula and start rolling it over. Again, you don't want any golden brown color. If things go awry, that will turn into scrambled eggs, but they will be the best scrambled eggs you've ever made. And you tell everyone you meant to make scrambled eggs. But over here, we do have a swap of the completed one. Now, this is where you take it to the next level. And if anybody watched the show, The Bear, we're obviously gonna make this into like a The Bear style omelet. So I'm gonna pop on some fresh chives right on top, nice and finely chopped. Y'all get ready. We're also putting some sour cream and onion potato chips on top. You just crush them right over top of that omelet. It sounds wild, but it gives you this crunchy, salty deliciousness. That, a little bit of extra salt on there, and you have got the most delicious omelet you've ever seen. It's creamy, it's custardy. It basically tastes like Eggs Benedict, but in an omelet with chips on it. So you're welcome, world. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.